and welcome to Vessel of Hope. This is your Tuesday goodness, your Tuesday relaxation. Just a moment to get out, get away, just chill a little bit, right? Just get away from the cares of this world and just take a little breather. That's what I feel. That's how I feel. I feel Tuesday is like, I'm just taking a little breather this time. Don't bother me. Just breathe a little bit. Well, thank you all so much for joining us, for being a part of Vessel of Hope family. And you all know what I need you to do. Come on now. This is not a want. This is a need. I need you to do this for me. For those of you that are on Facebook, go ahead and give a love. And I need you to share it on your page. And for those of you that are on YouTube, give it a like, subscribe. Come on, do the thumbs up. Do all that good stuff that we do to show our appreciation and show our love. We like to tell the kids, if you love me, cash out me. And I was like, but I don't have no cash out. So if you love me, give me some loves, give me some likes, give me some thumbs up. Okay? Appreciate you. Thank you all so much for being a part of Vessel of Hope today. So today I want to talk to you on watering your garden. Watering your garden. We are literally a few days away from summer. 9 days, I think, to be exact. Away from summer. Mother P is happy. Those of you summer lovers, you're happy. I think my allergies will be happy, when we get into summer, because it'll tone down a little bit. Side note, yesterday we're driving, and it was nice and cool outside. So I'm like, ooh, let me open the windows. Let's get some air in this car. Ooh, feels so nice. 1.2 seconds. I was like, oh, Jesus, I got to turn these windows back up, put the AC back on, put it on blast, because I couldn't take it outside. I started sneezing. I was coughing. It was brutal. So I think my allergies might be a little happy when summer steps in. I'm not happy because I don't like the heat. Apostle's not happy because, Perry's all around her, right? So she would not be enjoying this heat at all, because that's like double whammy. But today, Prophetess Patricia Williams, today, Prophetess Loretta, today, Sister Teresa, I want to talk to you on watering your garden, right? Because we already know we're in spring. May showers bring June flowers, or however the saying is again. No, April showers bring May flowers, right? So all of the rain that's been going on in the spring is making your garden grow, right? It's bringing some nice, beautiful, blossoming things into your garden. But now that the summer is coming, your garden will change. Things will begin to change. So now you have to do new preparation as you're entering into your garden. So today I want to give you one tool as the biggest hindering while you're watering that garden. As you're watering your garden, one main tool of the biggest hindrance. We just did a side note. My garden outside, y'all. Ooh, my flowers is looking beautiful. You hear me? Beautiful. All around our house, we have different kind of flowers that are growing, different kind of plants that are growing, and it looks beautiful. Prophet Loretta, because every time a new one comes out, I was like, Prophet Loretta, look what just came out in the yard. Instead of her pictures. She probably like, Pastor, I don't care to know, but I'm going to share it with you anyway, Prophet Loretta. You got to know, right? So anyway, the main tool, one main tool that I want to give to you today on while you're watering your garden, getting ready for your plants to grow, for it to be nurtured, for it to be beautiful, is taking out the weeds. The main tool I have, the only one I got for today, taking out the weeds, right? In watering your garden, taking out the weeds. Weed hinder the growth of your flower and your flowers and your vegetable, right? It does. It's there, right? Right, Prophet Olive? It hinders the growth of your flowers and your vegetable, and weed will stop you from progressing. It stops your flowers. It stop your vegetables from growing to the place that it need to grow, right? Here's some negativity or some negative things about weeds that you may not know, that I found out, and I'm like, oh, I need to go check my flowers, I need to go check my vegetables, make sure. I say vegetable when I only have one right now. Carrots. Y'all listen to this. This is the brief testimony of the goodness of God, right? We planted these, as in me and my cousin, planted these last year, May, right? May. Last year, May, we planted, I planted eggplants, we planted carrots, we had peppers, we had tomatoes, pumpkin, beautiful. We're not going to talk about what happened to my pumpkin with our gardener, Alex. Alex, I got it in for you. Alex, I got it in for you because you chopped out my stuff. But as soon as spring came in, I went into my little vegetable garden, and guess what happened? Nothing really grew. The carrots didn't really grow last year. The pumpkins grew. I had like one eggplant. Mother P enjoyed it. Apostle was fasting the time. I don't eat eggplants. Mother P enjoyed it. I enjoyed my tomatoes and my red peppers, my green peppers that were coming out, my red peppers that were coming out. But I didn't get any carrots. So at the end of the season, in October or so, Mr. Alex, our gardener, landscape man, comes over and he chops everything down. He have to chop all of the dead weeds, everything. He have to cut it all down. All of the flowers that you know that are now dying because the fall was setting in. And you know what he did? He chopped down my entire vegetable garden. Boy, let me tell you, and that was his last day working because you know fall is coming in. If I had found Alex that day, only Father God knew. I told Apostle, I said, you better hold Alex back because it's no joke. So now a few weeks ago, I went into my garden and said, okay, so I put some pumpkin down. Say, okay, let's see how this pumpkin is gonna go. It's gonna go up. Yes, Prophet, we're not talking about the squirrels, but I got something new for you. So I got a video I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you a video, Prophet. So now my garden's growing. It's trying to grow back up. I put some pumpkins down. I didn't get a chance to do the tomatoes and so forth. Mother P, she's all about some croton plant, and I'm like, croton is Guyanese plant. It cannot grow in America. It only grow in the summertime. Wintertime is gonna be done, so we can't get no croton, right? So anyway, right, Mother P. So I went into the garden, and guess what's there? Carrots. Now my carrots are coming up. Last year there was no carrot. And now the carrots is coming up, but every other vegetable that was planted because of Alex as he cut down, something's growing. I don't know what it is, but I see carrots. So I pluck my carrots, I cook my carrots, and it's delicious. Pastor Loretta, I got you. And it's delicious, right? Because it's all grass grown. So I took it upon myself this season to make sure that the little bit of vegetables I have growing, I need to nurture it. I need to take care of it. I need to grow it better, especially my carrots, because it's growing beautifully, right? It's growing nice, right? In Prophet's Olive in Jamaica, they got croton too, right? So I take care of my little garden that I have, waiting on pumpkin. Mother P said to me the other day, we gotta put some more pumpkin seed down. I said, okay, I got you, Mother P. We gotta get some more pumpkin seed. We got a pumpkin upstairs right now. You know that Mother P's gonna cook tomorrow, so we take the seeds from that and I'm gonna throw it in the garden. We gotta put some more pumpkin. And guess what happened? By October of last year, all the pumpkins started growing throughout the yard. That's what made Alex mad because he came and cut it. Oh, still got it in my heart. But hey, we're still talking about watering your garden and having your garden to grow, right? And the main thing, Prophet Sharice, is taking out those weeds, pulling those weeds out. But here's some negative things about weeds, right? They compete with other plants for resources. So when your weeds are in your garden, it's competing with your plants that are trying to grow. And it's competing with the resources like water, the nutrients, and even space. So for those of you that are gardens, or you like gardens or vegetables or whatever you have, or even for those that have it in your apartment or in your condos, you have those little plants in there, you'll see these things, weeds just come out of nowhere. You don't plant weeds. It just comes out of nowhere. It just finds its way, right, in your garden. It finds its way into your vegetable. Why? Because it's competing for the nutrients. It's competing for the water. I take it for myself. Tomorrow is water my garden day. We don't turn on the sprinklers, right? We ain't about that water bill kind of life, right? Right? So we turn all our sprinklers off so it doesn't water our garden. So I go out and I manually, right, take the hose out. We have two hoses, one for this side of the house and one for that side of the house. So I take my hose out, and I go and I water my garden. I water my vegetable. I water my plants, and I talk to it. You guys know we talked about this last year, right? I talk to it. I talk to my little plants that are growing out, to my little vegetables, and I tell it what I'm watering. Like, oh, you guys doing a good job. How are you doing today? You know, we have a conversation. So that it can grow. And then if I go and I say, this doesn't look like it belongs with this particular plant, or this doesn't look like it belongs with this particular vegetable. So what I do, I get my gloves and I go and I start pulling it out, because it looked like weeds to me, and we can't eat weeds, because I realize, as it says, that the weeds go in the midst because it's trying to suck the nutrients out of my vegetable. That's why I'm like, oh my God, what is she talking about? I don't like gardening. I don't like plants. I don't know what she's talking about. But I'm getting to a point. We're getting to a point here because we're talking about watering Bless Apostle Lord. You need some of my lemon juice? And so I make sure that I try to do the best to make sure that it grows. So here, again, the negativity about weeds is that it tries to suck the space, right? They prevent normal plant growth. It's preventing my plant from growing, right? We could between other plants. Yeah, so it try to prevent my other plants from growing. So I realized maybe that's why I had a lot of stagnancy last year with some of the flowers that were growing in the yards. Because this year, a lot more blooming, right, Apostle? A lot more blooming. I'm like, ooh, I never saw this one last year. This is new one. And the prophet's ready, you get to you get to enjoy the pictures, right? So I'm like, this doesn't make any kind of sense. So I realized that the more I go and the more Mr. Alex, as he comes and he sprays his stuff, right? He sprays his stuff with the pesticide and all these other things, and he pulls out, the weeds for me, and he helps us as he's helping our garden. It's growing more. It's blossoming more. So my job is to go out there and to water it, and to water my garden, right, Sister Bridget, and to water my garden, because if I don't do that, if I don't take care and pull out the weeds, it's trying to put all of the nurture out from my garden and my vegetable. Another thing that weed does is it smother the seedlings. Smother the seedlings. And seedlings are young plants that are growing from seeded plants. So the seeds that you put down, right, in your garden, I'm getting to the point. I don't gotta go around the corner, but I know I'm going, and I'm getting there. So the seeds that you put down in your garden, my pumpkin seeds that I put down that are not growing, that are stagnant right now, there may be weeds there that's smothering, that's hindering it from growing, that's hindering it from blossoming. Even though I'm watering it, right? There might be weeds that say, we can't do that. And one last thing it does, it steals the nutrients from your product. This is what the weeds do to your vegetable and your plants. It steals the nutrients. So it's trying to suck all of the life out of my pumpkin, out of my carrots, out of my all of the plants and the flowers that are growing. The weeds are trying to suck the life out of that. And what does it do? If it sucks the life out of all my other things, that means it is enjoying the nutrients. It is enjoying all of the water that I'm watering. It is enjoying all of the nice conversations that I'm talking to, that I'm telling it. So it's sucking the nutrients so that my weeds are growing. And what's happened? My plants and my vegetable, they ain't doing so good, y'all. They won't be doing so good. They won't be doing so good. They won't be doing so good. So when the weeds are plucked out, they allow your plants and your vegetables to grow. So when they grow, they take over the entire garden and they kill your harvest. This is what your weed will do. When you allow your weeds, right? I know it's getting to the point. Come on, Prophet Loretta, you know it's gonna get there. When you take care of your weeds, when you take care of your garden, all of the watering you can do means nothing, right? And I've learned this tool, right? Because now I'm a fancy gardener. Because now I realize that I can water it. I try to water three times a week, or maybe 2. I usually do that garbage day. So as I realize I'm watering it and I'm expecting it to grow just by watering and talking to it, but not paying much attention that there's still weeds deep down that's growing in my vegetable garden. Hey, let me tell you something. You could be putting all the prayer and the fasting in, right? In your spirit, in your soul, in your life. But if you don't stop and pull out all of those nasty things, those weeds that have been planted in there, what are you doing? You're just throwing it on top, right? Throwing it on top, and what's going to happen? It's still there, but you're just throwing it on top. And what's going to happen? Eventually, it's going to bust through those prayers. It's going to bust through those fasting. It's going to bust through those words because you haven't taken time out to stop and pull the weed out. Oh, that's gonna be a sermon, y'all. You hear me? I was like, Lord, when I was doing this, Sister Vesta, when the Lord gave this to me, I was like, oh, this could be a sermon, Jesus. This is not a Vessel of Hope topic. This is a sermon. But listen here. Listen here. You have to get rid of the weeds. In order for things to really go, you have to get rid of the weed. Why? You have to even, have you ever even wonder why sometimes you feel down? Think about it. Think about it. Right, Sister Bassett? Why sometimes you feel discouraged? Why sometimes you feel faithless? Why? Because there's weeds in your garden. Even though you're watering it, you haven't plucked the weeds out. Right? And the more water you put on the weed, the more it's growing. Right, Mother Joyce? You're thinking that, hey, my harvest is looking good, my plants are looking good. But did you know one thing? Listen to this. Did you know one thing? Your plants and your trees can be growing and still be malnourished because you have weeds there. Take a sip. That might be getting a little too deep for y'all today, right? You know, like this is supposed to be Vessel of Hope, not a sermonette. But let me just say this. You can have so much weed in your garden and feel like, oh, my plants are looking good. They're looking. Have you ever, right? For those of you that had it, let's just do it naturally, just in regular things. You buy a product. You buy bread, because you may not like bread, but I'm sure everybody eats some kind of bread. Wheat bread, whole wheat bread, Mother P and her rye bread, regular bread, Hawaiian bread. You buy bread and you put it in your cupboard, or if you put it in your fridge, wherever you put it, and you sit it there and you're like, this bread is so good. And you ever got up one morning and all of a sudden there's mold there. I said, I just bought this bread. This bread looked so fresh yesterday. Perfect example, my brother was here from Georgia the other day. And he loved tennis rolls. So Apostle, we got 7 bags of tennis rolls, right? So we look and it's like, oh, he's coming, the bags are coming now. Now he's on 3 bags in like 3 days. He's on 3 bags of tennis, 2 bags of tennis rolls left. So we go back again. Shout out to Island Express, the Guyanese bakery and restaurant. Go check that, right? They not give me no money for this promo, but I'm gonna say it because I gotta represent my Guyanese people, right? So we go to Island Express. I got 7 more bags of tennis balls. We're excited. Bought it home, put it in the cupboard. Everyone's ready to roll. My brother's excited. Man, you got 7 bags of tennis balls. Eat this stuff. My other brother came from New Jersey. Mother P gave him a bag. Said, take this bag of tennis roll home. So now he's down to 8 because you had 2 already, right? So now he's down to 8 bags of tennis roll, right? So he's like, oh, so we're getting up, so we're ready. So I go in the cupboard and I'm like, let me inspect this, grab this bag, right? Because I'm gonna have a tennis roll because I like tennis roll for bread. Y'all, about 4 bags of tennis roll molded. And these were fresh tennis rolls. Fresh. Just got it from the bakery. Fresh. About 4 bag molders. Have you ever gone to bed, feel like you've watered your garden? You had a wonderful prayer with Jesus, right? It was wonderful. You were on the prayer line. The pastor just preached to your soul. She told you to live right, right? Last night, like, oh Lord, what's going in today? She told her to live right, be holy internally and externally, right? So you felt good, like, man, this good is good for my soul. And you got up in the morning, and all of a sudden, you feel like, oh my God, all that word last night just ran out of you. You feel like, oh my God, I don't know what's happening. I don't know why I feel this way. Oh my God, I just feel like the whole world is against me. Oh my gosh, I feel like I just want to turn this house upside down. And you don't understand why. That's the mold. That's the weed. The weeds. That's the weeds that was growing in your garden. Oh, I feel so bad for
Thank you, Lord.
that you could feel so good, you could feel so positive, you can feel so healthy, you can feel so spiritually grown, so spiritually enlightened. And then you wake up the next day and there's mold on your tennis roll. There's mold on your bread. There's weeds in you. Oh, that kind of hurt, doesn't it? So where do your weeds come from? right? We know the external weed, the weeds in our plants and our vegetable garden. We know come from it just naturally grows. Once it sees the flourishment and it sees the blossoming of those of your vegetable and your fruits, it gets excited and as you're watering it, you're watering your garden, and as you're talking to it and you're feeding it, you're also subconsciously feeding the bad things around your vegetable in your garden. So here, where do your weeds come from? Where do your bad things come from? That's for you to answer. I'm just throwing a question out there for you, Prophet Word. I'm just throwing it out there, Prophet Reed. Where does your bad weeds come from? We all have bad weeds. You do. You all have bad weeds. It's a natural thing that grows. But the sad thing is, so many times we as individuals don't want to pull it out. You don't want to pluck it out. We just want to keep watering our gardens, right? But we don't want to pluck out our weeds. So some bad weeds come from your so-called friends. I don't have frenemies because I'm not friends with my enemies. Oh, so it's your so-called friends, those people that are supposed to be there for you, those people that are supposed to know your secrets or your bad days or so forth. They're your weeds. Because what do? They run on the words you tell them. They run on the positivities of things that you share to them, as you give to them. Again, we talked about this one time. You telling your friend, oh, I don't know why my husband acting like that. He always, man. She's like, girl, you need to be that man. You know what I mean? And you're like, yeah, you know what? Because I don't understand how to all you want to do, and he's still the same way. He not going to change. Girl, you know he not going to change. I told you he not going to change. You need to leave him because he not worthy of you. Yeah, and then you go ahead and you leave him. You go home and stay with your mother's house. And what happened? Your friend steps in. She takes your man. She takes your man. That's a weed. That's a weed. So we have to be careful with weeds because weeds can come out in the form of our so-called friends that's plotting, that's growing, that's throwing things inside of you. Weeds can also come from your family members. Right now, this all in? Weeds can come from your family members. The people you think mean good for you, but what are they doing? They're actually trying to grow the nastiness inside of you. For those of you that were in the world, or you're still trying to get yourself together with Jesus. You're just trying to get yourself together with Jesus. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna walk a straight and narrow road. I'm not gonna curse no more. I'm not gonna do this no more. And what happens? They come and they say, girl, can you believe blah, 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 and they cursing around, blah, 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 and they get you upset. You're like, girl, blah, 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 and you're like, oh, they're like, just go ahead and say it. I had this lady said one time, she said to the pastor, she said, you don't feel the effect of when you're angry at someone if you just talk to them in plain terms. You have to use the curse words, and then you feel that release. You know what cursing is? Cursing is a demon. I know, because I used to cuss like a sailor, like Mother P.
Yeah.
The first time I cursed was at Mother P used to curse all the time. I'm like, oh my God, it's so nasty. I can't stand people that curse. Can't stand that cursing. So one time in elementary school, y'all, walking to the bus stop. Walking to the bus stop there, Ocean Avenue, right? When PS 207. Walking to the bus stop, Ocean Avenue to go get on the bus. And I was walking with my friend, right? My friend, right? And she said to me, and she was like, oh, you don't curse. And I was like, oh, no, I don't curse. I can't stand anything so nasty. Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, but I dare you to curse. I said, oh, no, she didn't. I don't fall back in no dare. Y'all, I was gangster. You know what I said? That's why I was so bad. I was gangster. So I was like, I don't fall back in no dare, right? She said, I dare you to curse. Let me tell you, the first time I said that F word, I felt legions enter my body. I felt weeds enter my body. The first time you said that word, what happened? Every other sentence became those words. Because what? Because I allowed my friend at that time to push me into planting weeds that was tainting my garden. Like you go and you sit and you hang out with your friend and they're drinking. Like, girl, just have yourself. I taught Apostle a new drink the other day. She was amazed. So you sit out with your friends. You guys go out for brunch and you're enjoying. And everyone's drinking, enjoying themselves. And like, girl, just have yourself a mimosa. That's what I taught Apostle mimosa. She was like, what is a mimosa? I said, girl, it's what them alcoholic people invent for you to drink in the morning time, right? Is orange juice and some vodka mixed inside, right? So your friends will say, just have yourself a mimosa. It's all right. It's not a big deal. It's orange juice. You all right? So you feel like, hey, to be a part of this friendship and this relationship, it's okay. I can just have a mimosa. It's nothing. It's nothing. So there you go. Your friend, you let your friends, or even you sit with your family, they're enjoying themselves with their mimosas or with their drinking. It's just have a mimosa. It's not even that bad. It's not much alcohol. Once you sit down, you go ahead and you order mimosa. You drink your mimosa. What is that? That's you allowing weeds to enter. To enter into you. One thing I do not like. I can't stand when people curse around me. I just can't, because again, I used to have a cursing demon. So I don't want that spirit around me. I don't want those weeds, right, to come and try to attract itself. One time I had to block somebody. This was a sister. She accidentally, I don't know if she accidentally sent it. She sent the emoji, that have the curse in the front, that emoji. So I blocked her, because when I see that, I know what it means. I don't want that around me. I don't want those weeds to come in. Come on. You know what I'm talking about. Those family members that feel like it's okay to curse around you, but say, oh, pardon me. I know you're a Christian, pardon me, but let me just say this. No, I'm not pardoning you. I'm not a judge. I'm not going to pardon you. Don't do it in front of me. You have to nip it in the bud. Those family members or those friends that you have that feel comfortable when you go out to eat and they will order alcohol in your presence. No, don't do that, because you're putting weeds in my garden. I don't want that. I told Apostle the other day, a while back, we were driving down the streets, and I was like, look, Apostle, look, it's a corner store. It's a corner store. It sells candy sandwiches, and it sells hookah. Not hookers, not the one we see Prophet Loretta on Pennsylvania Store over there. Not those that we see, right? Hookers, the things you smoke. And I said, Apostle, imagine when they were driving down, I was like, oh, I need something to drink. Like right now, oh Lord, this lemon juice is just soothing my throat, right? So I said, imagine me driving out one day and I'm like, oh, let me just run in this. It's a corner store and it sells juice. Let me just go get a juice. And what happened? And one of the saints, or someone that knows Apostle from the Word Network or somewhere, see her somewhere, because everybody think I'm Apostle, but I'm pretty. Say it again. Right? So imagine I go in there and I get my juice and they put it in a brown bag and I'm walking out, and someone passes by and see grocery, candy, and hookah. Ooh, Pastor Marcelle is buying hookah. They're not thinking that I'm doing the grocery or the candy, right? Right? The perception. So now, what did that person think? Oh, she got weeds growing in her garden. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful of the places we surround ourselves, the places we go, the people we interact with, our co-workers, right? That co-worker that always want to come to me like, oh, can you look at what Mary's wearing today. Oh, she's such a slut. I know she wants to date the boss. You see how she does? She always wear that. What is that? What is that? What's that, Prophet Cherise? What's that? That is the weeds that's trying to go in the garden that you are watering and trying to grow. So we have to be careful with those co-workers, right? That try to suck you in, right? That try to suck you in, right? Oh, let's go hang out. Let's go out to dinner. But the only place that's open up is the bar. Let's sit at the bar. Why? Why you want to do that to yourself?
My God.
Why you want to do that? Let me say this. Why you want to do that to me? You know why you want to do that, right? You sit there, oh, I'm just going to get a water. Oh, and she's going to be like, oh, let me just get a wine. I'm just going to get a wine. Let me get a white wine. And you're like, oh, that looks nice. Girl, it's so good. You see how it is? Called white wine, they cold, right? So that glass, right, Apostle? Teach you something else today, right? So white wine is cold. So that glass is fogging up, and it's like, ooh, and it's nice and cold. And especially you thirsty, like, ooh, that looks so nice. Girl, just take a sip. It's going to quench your thirst. Weeds. You're watering your garden. You're trying to grow. You're trying to do good. But weeds, right, my sister Bassett? But weeds find its way in through your coworker, and finally even through the ministry that you attach yourself to. Weeds can come in through there. Because we know of those pastors that preach. I heard a preacher say one time, y'all, I didn't even fell out, because these days nothing surprises me, right? Because after COVID, after the eclipse, I just got everybody twisted. Nothing surprises me. I think the eclipse bought Perry to Apostle, right? So
yeah,
made it come stronger, right? So after, things don't surprise me. But I heard a pastor say one time, right? He was sitting along with other pastors, and he said, He said, you have to test the water before anything else. AKA, he's meaning, because he was talking about, marriage or whatever. So he said, you have to, if you know you're going to marry this person, you have to have sex with them before you marry them. To know this is something you want to live with for the rest of your life. I said the devil. I said the devil is a liar, and the devil not lying on him. He just lying on his own self, looking like a damn clown, right? Because he's telling the people, the saints, the people of God, right, to fornicate. That's what he's saying, and he's saying that's what God would like. He wants you to be sure in your sexual compatibility. So you have to have sex with this individual if you know you're gonna marry them. So imagine you have sex with this individual and say, I'm not gonna marry him no more. What's that? Anyway you put it,
Jesus.
It's wrong. It's still fornication. So we have to be
That's
careful,
right.
Prophetess Joyce, in the ministry that we attach ourselves to, because the teaching that they give you can bring weeds into you. So you walking around fornicating, talking about, I think I like him, I'm gonna sleep with him, he's not the one. Oh, I like him, I'm gonna sleep with him, he's not the one. Then you hear some holiness preacher that preached the word, said, fornication is wrong, you can't sleep with somebody even though you want to go to the altar with them, you can't do that. You mad, I can't be there talking nonsense. What? Because the weed, or the weeds, has already gotten into you. It's already gotten into your garden. Even though you water it, you read your Bible, you pray, you fast. But the weeds, as you're doing all of that to grow your spiritual self, there's weeds. The weeds are trying to grow in you, right? Okay, we almost finished. Let me see the time. Ooh, y'all, we getting pizza today. We getting pizza today, and we getting lasagna. So as soon as you say amen, I'm just gotta throw it in the oven and put it on 400, and boom, boom, we bossing it, right? So stop having the weeds live around you, because the ultimate conclusion will be to destroy you. It's going to destroy your garden. When you have all those negativities around you, when you have all those nastiness around you, those filth around you, whether it comes from your so-called friend, your family, your co-worker, your leader, wherever it comes from, all it's doing is destroying you. It's destroying the inside of you, right? Because weeds, we need to understand one thing too. Weeds, yes, oh, side note, Prophet, you ever went to Frank's on Flatbush Avenue? Frank's on Flatbush. Frank's, that's how they, when you call them like, Frank's, what do you want? Just like that, Italian. And it always cracking me up. Anyway. Next. What else? I like to put the phone on speaker when I call Frank's when I'm in Brooklyn. When I call Frank's, it's apostle like Frank's. When I call her, and she's always laughing because they're always like, next, what else? All I want is a box of pizza. It's all I want. Just half pepperoni, half sausage, extra cheese. That's all I want, right? So try it, Prophet Loretta. Try it. It's good. It's really good. Okay, so weeds. So we got to understand weeds are inevitable, right? They have to grow in your garden, so it's up to you to pluck it out. They have to grow. It's naturally there. Why? Because we live in this world. We live in this world, but we're not of this world because we like, I'm just a passing through. Right? We're just passing through this world. So things are going to try to attach itself unto us. Sonny Johns, I got to try them. Text me the address, Prophet. I'm going to try them when I get to Brooklyn. Right? So it's inevitable because we live in this world. So things are going to try to come and go and grow in us. And we are. But here's what Jesus said in Matthew 13, 30 to 32. Right? In the easy to read Bible. I think 30 to 31. Let's do 30 to 31. In the easy to read Bible, it says it this way. Let the weeds and the wheat grow together until the harvest time. At the harvest time, I will tell the worker this. First, gather the weeds and tie them together to burn them. Then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn. So hear what Jesus said. Let the weeds and the wheat dwell together until the day of harvest. Again, it's inevitable. The weeds are there. No matter, ain't nobody perfect. You get mad sometime, right? I know the Bible said to be angry and sin not. You get angry sometime and then you sin because in your head you're like, I could strangle that person. I could just choke him. I suffocate them while they're taking a shower, taking a bath. I just bump their head over the water, just suffocate them to death. Why? What is that? You sinning because you think about murder, right? So that was perfect. You have these thoughts. You have these things that run through your mind. Those are weeds, right? And it's going to grow, as the Lord said. They're going to grow until the day of harvest. You know, if you want to pull it into a preaching sermonette, or you want to exegese that text, it basically talks about good Christians and bad Christians, those that are living right, doing good, and then they have those so-called Christians that comes in and they go to church and they look churchy, but they're just evil, where the witches come in and the writing come in and they look like really good people, they look like really Christians. That's basically the concept, but here we're going to use it in this concept, right? The wheat and the weeds go together. So what does the Lord say? He said, when I'm ready, I'm gonna tell the farmer to take the weeds, right? Put them up and burn them. That's what he said. He said, when I'm ready, I'm gonna take them. Put them up, burn them, and then you're gonna I'm gonna take the weeds, and then you're gonna take the wheat, which is a good thing, which is your nice plant, your nice garden, my carrots that are outside. You take all of those, and I'm gonna tell them just put them in a barn because those are ready for harvest. Those are good things, you know. But the weeds, you gotta burn them. You have to burn your weeds. As you're watering your garden, right? You have to burn your weeds. The weeds will grow, but it cannot stay with you. You have to burn it. It's in your garden. Again, it's inevitable. It's there. But you have to be the one to go and pluck it up, Prophetess Joyce, and throw it away. You have to be the one to do that. You have to burn it, right? You have to burn those people that are trying to pull you away from God and the things of God. And you know, we talk about this a lot. My Prophetess Joyce, we talk about this a lot. Where it's hard to break away from some friendships because you're like, oh, I'm this kind of person. If you helped me out when I was in a crisis, I'm like, man, I feel indebted to you. It's just a natural thing in me. Mother P must have taught us this because she always like, don't bite the hand that feeds you. You know them old proverbs that they be just drilling down your throat, right? You know, that person that gave you a cup of water, you always remember that cup of water when you were thirsty, when you were dying, you got that cup of water. Yeah. So I'm that kind of person. If I was in need and you stepped in and you helped me, I feel indebted to you. I feel like, my God, you have done so much for me. You've helped me through a time. But if I realize, Sister Bassett, that even in the midst of you helping me, that you're throwing weeds in me, I gotta step away. I got to burn you. Burn it all down. I gotta burn you. So you gotta remember those people, right? The people that mean you no good, the people that are trying to pull you away, they're trying to pull you out of the things of God. And how do they do that? Again, just a simple conversation. You sit down with somebody, you know what I'm talking about? Sex. They're making a song out of it. Sex in the morning, sex in the afternoon, sex in the evening. Where Prophetess Diaz at? Oh, Adams is working hard today. She probably so mad he working hard today. I appreciate you, Prophetess Diaz. You keeping the streets in New York. You keeping us safe, right? You keeping us safe. So if you're hanging around somebody and all they talk about is sex, that's not good. Especially if you're a single person. That's a good conversation. What are they doing? They're throwing weeds in your garden. So what you gonna be thinking about morning and night? Sex. You wake up in the morning, sex. In the afternoon, sex. You on the prayer line, you thinking sex.
My God.
Because all you hear is sex. Same if you're talking to somebody, I'm broke. It makes a song out of it. So what happens? You wake up in the morning, you think broke. Afternoon, you think broke. In the evening, you think broke. What's going to happen? You're going to become broke. Because they've planted those weeds in your garden that you've watered. And I always say this. I say this all the time. Ain't no one going to prevent me from going to heaven. If I don't make it into heaven, knock on wood, it's because of me. Because no one should be planting weeds in your garden. You should be your only hindrance. But you shouldn't be because you know better.
That's right.
Because you know better. So but you shouldn't allow people to hinder you from You're making it to see Jesus. Come on. Don't allow people to put weeds in you and hinder your garden from growing and make you stagnant. And what happened? Well, let me say this for Apostle. When the trumpet got sounds, right?
Hey. Oh, come on now.
Just because you're going to be caught up.
Mm-hmm.
You know? When the trumpet got sounds, you can't be like, oh, you know why I didn't get caught up? Because all this weed. because so and so was telling me drinking is okay. Because so and so was telling me, you know, if I just slept with him and and he said he was gonna marry me, that was okay. Fornication was okay. Because so and so was telling me that if I want to curse a little bit when I'm upset, that's okay. No, because what? You allowing those weeds to be planted because you know better. Don't do that. Don't allow people to talk nonsense to you when you know better. And you know what? And I just talk a little bit about this. We're in this world, but we're not of this world. We're passing through. So we allow sometimes, as individuals, you allow the things of this world to attach itself to you, and you feel like this is what really right when the Bible is saying it's wrong. Come on. Because society, right? And we talked about this a lot. I'm going to run real quick. Society, right? The government, the world is saying this is how things should be. You know what, y'all? The other day, remember back in the days in the 90s, you watch TV? Prime time, they didn't allow, they weren't showing the man hand running on the lady's thighs. You didn't see that in the 90s, right? No, not on regular TV. If y'all had cable, that was all of y'all. But regular TV, we had channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. And at 8 or 9 o'clock, they didn't used to show those things where the man hand is rolling up the lady's thighs. No, because that's not for regular TV. That's cable. But now, you put on regular TV. You know what they showing? They showing women's butt on regular TV. They're having people cursing, using curse language on regular TV.
My God.
And what is society trying to say to us? This is normal. This is okay. Let your kids be exposed to the body of humans. Let cursing be a natural thing. So when your kids do it, it's okay because they're doing it on regular TV. This is what I say. Society try to creep in and bring weeds into your garden. And then after a while, you don't realize it. You subconsciously don't realize it. People curse around you and like, oh, it's all right, because you hear it so much. It becomes like the norm. No! Those are weeds. Right? You sit down like before. You even cartoon. You sit down, you watch, the kids better watch cartoon with them. And the end of Cinderella where they do the final kiss. Kids like, oh, I don't want to see that. This camera, Marcelle. They were like this. I don't want to see that. I'm not watching. I don't know who they think they flew. Right? So now today, in the cartoons, they're doing more than that. Could you believe it? That's society creeping into your life and bringing weeds in. So, right, Prophet Patricia, we have to be careful of the weeds that are creeping in. So finally, you have to let the world go. Let the things of this world go. So that your garden, right? So that your garden wouldn't be tainted. So that the weeds, all the plants you're planting, because you know what you're doing? When you're planting, when you're just throwing water in your garden, you're nurturing your weeds as well as your vegetables, as well as your plants, right? You're nurturing all of those things because you're thinking, hey, I'm trying to just grow my plants and my vegetable, but the weeds are still there. We have to pluck up garden. When you see the world creeping into your life or into your home, you have to root it out, you have to throw it away, and some of you have to burn it. Some of you have to burn it. Some of you have to burn those friendships that are not good for you. Some of you have to leave those jobs that are not even good for you. You over there, you all depressed every time, you mad. Oh, but Pastor, I can't leave the job because I need to work. Find another job. Go ahead, put in your application now. Because you over there, you mad every time. Your coworkers cursing at you, your boss yelling at you. They always want to go to happy hours on Friday. When you say, no, I'm not coming today, they're mad at you. And then they're like, look at you like a Scrooge. On Monday, you go to work, don't even talk to her. There's a lot of animosity be going on. You don't need that. That's weeds. That's weeds growing in your garden. Get rid of that. So we have to get rid of those things, right? Because it hinders your garden from growing. Your flowers will be tainted. So all the water you are pouring on your garden will do nothing more but sink your flowers and grow your weeds. If you don't pull out the weeds, all the water you're doing to watering your garden is going to sink your flower. Y'all, one time, last year, Sister Bassett, last year, I was watering, perfect example. Prophet Loretta gave me a lily, right? A lily plant for my birthday. It's Prophet Loretta's on his last leg. Y'all, one more flower going on in April. Beautiful plant, right? And the instruction tells us, says, water it once a week, right? Give it a little sunlight and so on. Y'all, I watered it. Let's say I watered it on a Monday. And I was like, some plants when you water it, like the water go all the way to the bottom. It's like, I feel like this thing needs some more plant. So on a Tuesday, I need some more water. On a Tuesday, I put some more water on it. So on a Wednesday, I'm like, I feel like this thing needs some more plant. I'm not smart enough to think about, hey, you just read the instructions that said, water it only once a week. Because the water's going straight down to the bottom. So what I did, I went and I took the whole plant over the faucet, and I done filled it up. And I was like, there we go. That'll last you a week. I'm thinking I'm smart. I'm gonna cheat the system by saying, if I put a whole bunch of water, it's gonna be better. It's gonna last you for maybe 2 weeks. So I go ahead and I water it and I fill it up. I got up the next day. Guess what happened? Guess what happened, Brother Will? Them stuff started falling off. I said, oh no, I drowned in my flowers because I wasn't following the instruction. So I went real quick and I pushed my hand in to suck up the water and try to drain as much out as I could. And that's what happens. When we water our garden, we leave the weeds. We put a whole bunch of water on our flowers. Oh, Sister Diaz, you here, sister? You here, Prophetess Diaz? Welcome to the party. I pray for you, man. I love you. So you put all this water on your garden, and what happened? Your flowers are sinking. You drowned it, and you don't put out your weeds because you're trying to half step. You know what Apostle said the other day? Apostle said the other day, I don't die. I don't always have to black me. Apostle said the other day, and this is so true. No offense to anyone. There's no one on here. But this is so true. You know sometimes when people need things from God, we call it a pimping God. They just horrible all the time. They horrible. They don't give their tithes. They don't give their offering. You just sense in your spirit that they just talking about you, that they just mad at the world. But all of a sudden a crisis happened, right? So what happened? Well, I'm gonna give my tithes today. I'm gonna give my tithes this week. I'm gonna sow a seed today. Oh, I'm not gonna talk about the pastor, the apostle. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be a good Christian today because I need God to come through for me. You know what that is? That is you just flooding your whole garden with water, right? You're flooding your flowers and you're still growing your weed because people try to pick God. You're trying to pick God, right? God already sees the heart. God already knows, hey, you know what? You're not doing good. You haven't been doing good. You haven't been reading your word. You haven't been fasting. We on these few days of fasting that just. Let's move right along, apostles. You haven't been doing it because you're like, I'm not gonna do that. But watch, tonight a crisis is gonna happen, right? Yeah, I'm talking to you. A crisis is gonna happen tonight. It's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you so hard. You're going to feel like, oh my God, I am drowning. I'm about to pass out, God. I don't know what's happened. Tomorrow, you're going to be the first one on the 5 o'clock prayer call. You're going to fast tomorrow from 6 to 1 because you're going to say, God, I need you to come through for me because I don't understand why my garden is sinking. I don't understand why my flowers are just dying. Oh my God. But you still got weeds. Your heart's still nasty. There's things in you that still need to come out. You know right from wrong. Right? You know right from wrong, but you still just want to do what you want to do and not what God wants you to do. That's what somebody walk around here. Let's go over here, let's go back to the camera here. Okay? They're getting kind of serious. We're not about that show. We're not doing serious right now. But watering your garden, right? Remember, in watering your garden, you have to pull out the weeds. Because if you don't pull out the weeds, what's going to happen? Your fruits and your vegetable will die. If you don't pull out the weeds, things will never grow. You will still wake up upset at the world. You will still wake up faithless. You will still wake up feeling like you're not progressing. Why? Because those weeds are still there. Those so-called friends, those co-workers, those family members, those preachers that you guys like to listen to that are telling you on nonsense, those preachers that are whoremongers but you're still listening to them, those preachers that are bisexual but you're still listening to them, those preachers that be smoking but you're still listening to them, right? Those same preachers that you listen to, they're throwing weeds into your spirit, right? And you're watering your garden but nothing's happening. The pastor was telling us the story, not the story, she was telling us the vision the Lord showed her. That time with the preachers, with those two or three preachers, the Lord showed her, they're like, oh, let's go give these stupid people money. Why? So they can go ahead, so they can go and they can buy more drugs, and go and they can drink, and they can go shop and do lasciviousness with your money. If you're giving to a ministry, if you're sowing into a ministry and you're seeing no progression, think about it. It's either something wrong with you or something wrong with that ministry. But if you give it the healing sanctuary, nothing wrong with healing sanctuary. It's all on you, better do. No. But if you give it to a ministry, right? And you're constantly giving and sowing, and you're not seeing progression, there's weeds in that ministry that you need to pull out from there. Right? Think about it. You share with testimony with Prophet Sharice. Share the testimony. She sowed a seed last night. What was last night? Monday night? Monday night program. The Word Network program. She sowed a seed last night. And what happened? She got up today. The Lord sent a financial increase. More than she could even expect. Why? What? Because what she's plucking out those weeds, right? And she's sowing into good ground. She's sowing into ministries that she know will pull out weeds from her garden and allow her flower to grow as she's watering, right? So I hope this bless your spirit today. I know it's a little different. I was like, Lord, I didn't really want to do this, and I'm not an apostle. Apostle fight with God. I don't fight with God because I'm not about that. I'm not because I used to be a fighter, so I don't do that. But I'm always ready for a fight, though, but not with God, right? So, just do what the Lord instructed us to do today. But I hope this bless your spirit, bless your soul, and I hope you learn something from it. So as you're watering your garden, pull out the weeds so that your flowers can grow, so that your vegetable can grow, okay? Well, let me pray with you before we go. Lord, I thank you for your people, your precious people. I love you all so much. I thank you, Lord God, that you're keeping them, that you're sustaining them. Thank you, God, that for those that may have weeds or see weeds, that they will continue to pluck it out. Even though it's inevitable, it will grow, but let them continue to pluck it out so that their garden can grow as they water it, so that their vegetable and their fruit may grow, so that they can be better Christians. Our whole goal in life is to be better Christians, better individuals, so that when the trumpet sound, we will be caught up to meet you. Bless your people. Keep them today and always. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, y'all, don't forget, tonight on the prayer line, 7:45. And see you all at Apostle Marcelle Sampson page at 3:45 tomorrow afternoon. Come on now, let's continue a blessing to each other. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to go enjoy my pizza and lasagna. Y'all have a good day. See you tonight. Mwah!
Shaka.